So I
Hey,
lost my...
welcome to the porch 321. I'm Sylvia Ford, realtor, Coldwell banker in beautiful Melbourne, Florida, on the space coast of the United States. And I'm
Linda Hollington.
And I'm Sherry Darmanine.
And shout out to Kathy Spratt.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
We are going to talk about foreclosures. Everybody's talking about it, and there's a lot of scary information out there, or headlines. Don't just read the headlines. It is coming up because the moratorium is going to be over with, and so of course there were no foreclosures, and now normally there will be some foreclosures that are going to be in process as normal times. In Realtor.com provided a report October 14th by Sharon Lurie entitled "Foreclosures Are Shooting Up. Is it a repeat of the early 2000s housing crisis?" Look at that headline. Think about it and talk to people that are in the know, and we'd like to discuss it. So from this federal report, this report, a federal moratorium on the foreclosures is ending. Yes, we just discussed that. Loan forbearance relief is running out. Yes. And no end to the COVID-19 pandemic in sight. Well, it is let up quite a bit. Yeah. The latest data shows foreclosures are starting to jump. Well, of course they are. They were at zero. Or basically at zero. So, Sherry, I know you
We want to talk about statistics, though, and we want to talk about data. So, according to adamdata.com, the report states that foreclosure filings are up 68% in third quarter of this year compared to 2020, and up 34% from the previous month. However, 70% lower than September of 2019. The foundation of this market is far different than when we hit the Great Recession, with home prices at record highs, and owners are likely to be able to sell their homes, pay their mortgages off, and even make a profit, okay? But remember, it's a cycle, and there is an expectation for there to be some, but it's not as panicky as the headlines would state. Right?
Not really panicky whatsoever. It's kind of maybe a normal. It's coming out of the moratorium, like Sylvia said. It's coming out, but nothing in the next 12 months indicates there's going to be anything like that at all. So I don't find any optimism about an increase in inventory from the foreclosures, or sometimes foreclosures help lower prices. I don't see that happening either, because they're pretty much going to get their price out of that, which is a good thing for the homeowner. And oddly, this is an odd thing. When you look at the foreclosures in the United States, Nevada, on the last go-around, had the highest. Right. They also had the highest this time. Right. But the realtors there are reporting a good market. They're getting rid of those houses just like all the other houses.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
The ground zero.
Yeah, that was the ground zero, and they had the most this time also.
Right.
I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, but they're not having a bad time with it. It's not influencing the prices on the homes. They're just selling like all the rest of them. So I don't see any optimism of foreclosures influencing this market much at all.
Right. No. So what we're saying is that we're going to have foreclosures. It's going to probably get back to normal, if not a little bit more, because we've gone through a pandemic. But it's really not going to lower our home prices.
No.
Okay.
I don't see it's going to.
And again, it goes back to, it's not any different than it was in prior years, really.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you always have that issue. That's no matter what, it's always there.
Things turn around in people's lives, but
in the
things
scheme,
happen.
Yeah, but in the scheme of long term, looking at it, we have very few.
Very few.
Very few, right?
As Linda reported in the last segment, we only had 3 in all of Palm Bay.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Right.
So I think we're in pretty good shape.
I do too.
And we gave you the report, the updates on the previous about the first-time buyers. So we have nothing else to report.
Right. Unless you want to just review that.
I can do that.
Just the foreclosure one.
Oh,
just
yeah,
because
okay.
This is what we talked
Since
about.
we're talking about foreclosures, and Sherry pointed this out, I looked up on Realty Track. If you go to realtytrack.com, TRAC, by the way, they will give you reports there. And I just looked at Brevard County, Florida, to see what we had, there. And we had 10 total. So in Melbourne, and from Melbourne up, I should say,
Right.
clear up through Titusville and everything. So that's very few.
And
And
our
then
county
from-
is 72 miles.
Yeah, I was starting to
Very
say
narrow.
it's a
And
lot
then-
of space.
Yeah, and then from Melbourne down, which is mostly Palm Bay,
Right.
we had 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it.
Negligible
Yeah.
at best. Yeah. All
It's
right.
not going to really help anybody much. And the majority of those, the only ones that are on sale, for sale there, are on for sale by auction. So,
And a lot of times those buyers somehow find the funds or work it out with the bank last minute and they're pulled right out from under the buyers at the auction. I mean, I have been at those auctions.
yeah,
so-
because if they can find a buyer before it goes to
Yeah.
auction for the price that they
Well,
need.
usually it's the owner they work it
Excuse
out
me.
with.
Yeah.
And the lawyers get involved. I mean, bank foreclosures, it can be a long process.
Yeah, this has to be a bank approval. They
Yeah.
have to like the
Yeah,
price.
of
so,
course.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that's it on foreclosures for right now.
And
right?
we're happy you joined us. So
Yeah.
don't worry about the foreclosures.
Yeah,
right now.
don't. Yeah, we will get through this just like anything else.
That's right.
That's right. Because what are the alternatives? We have to.
So make sure that you watch us on YouTube, subscribe, and like us on Facebook.
And if you have any other questions you want to send to us about any of these things, send them to theporch321@gmail. We'll be happy to either respond personally or we'll do it here on
Or
our.
leave a comment in either our YouTube or our
Right.
Facebook with a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works too.
We'd love to hear from you. Thanks.
Thanks for joining the porch.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a great week.